Hello. I hope you are well. This is a full body yoga practice that you can do anytime, but it is going to focus on building the core and connecting the core to the limbs and throughout the body, and using the breath to move through our asanas. All of our poses come from our core and branch out as we open up in our poses. So that's what we'll work on today. You will need a yoga block. Not everybody has a yoga block in their home. A nice thick book will also work. And if you don't have a nice thick book in your house, well, shame on you, you should. So we'll begin seated. So take a few minutes and get yourself ready to go. Come to an easy seat, a nice tall spine. I like to sit up on a pillow or a rolled up blanket or a bolster just to get a little lift in the spine. And bring the hands to the tops of the thighs, thumbs towards the inside, fingers towards the outside, and just press the hands into the thighs to pull the shoulders up to the ears. Inhale. And then as you exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Once again, inhale, press the hands into the tops of the thighs. Squeeze the shoulders up to the ears. And exhale, squeeze the shoulders back and down. Once again, inhale, pressing into the hands. And exhale. Let the hands rest gently on the legs. And for a few moments, close the eyes and connect to the sound and rhythm of your breath. Breathing in deeply through the nose, fill the belly, the lungs, feel the heart lift. And then exhale deeply through the nose, feel the sit bones root down, the shoulders relax away from the ears. Again, breathing in through the nose, fill the belly, fill the lungs, lift the heart. And exhale, feel each vertebrae stacking one on top of the other as the spine grows tall. Another breath in, listen to the wave of your breath. And out. This time as you breathe in, take the arms and sweep them out and up, reaching up tall, feeling the arms grow tall. And exhale, hands face the earth as you let the lower arms come, or let the arms come down all the way to the earth, fingertips graze the earth. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reaching tall. And exhale, letting the arms float down, the spine grows even taller. Last time, inhaling the arms out and up. And at the top of the breath, press the palms together, and as you exhale, bring the hands down the center line to the heart. Anjali Mudra, inhale, plug the thumbs into the sternum. And as you exhale, release the chin towards the chest. Feel a nice opening in the back of the neck. Breathe in, feel the stretch in the neck, the shoulders. And exhale. As you inhale, lift the head, gaze forward. And as you exhale, interlace the fingers, press the palms away from the body, round the upper back, and drop the chin towards the chest. Feel the opening along the upper back. Inhale, roll up, reaching the arms up, growing long, feeling the stretch in the webs of the fingers. And exhale, bend the elbows, release the hands, pull the arms down, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you interlace the fingers at the low back. Bend the elbows. Inhale, start to straighten at the elbows. Press the knuckles away from the crown of the head. Lift the heart. And exhale, palms come together at heart center. Inhale, plug the thumbs into the sternum. And exhale, interlace the fingers. Press the knuckles away from the body this time. Round the upper back, drop the chin towards the chest. And inhale, knuckles all the way up towards the ceiling. Arms come along either side of the head. Exhale, bend at the elbows. Keep the fingers interlaced and bring the palms to the back of the head. Elbows wide. Take the thumbs and you can bring the thumbs down to give a little support to the neck. Inhale, tip back, spread the elbows wide, gaze up, feel the belly engage. And then as you exhale, bring the elbows together, nice tall spine, and then drop the chin towards the chest. Here, you don't want the hands dragging the head down, but just a gentle traction up. Just the fingertips touching the back of the head. On an inhale, roll up, sweep the elbows out wide, gaze up, lift the chin, tip back, feel the belly engage. And exhale, chin towards the chest, squeeze the elbows. Don't squeeze them toward each other, just let them fall toward each other. Once again, fingers are not grasping at the head, but just a very gentle traction on the back of the neck. Inhale, last time, rolling up, spread the elbows wide, tip back, gaze up. And then as you exhale, nice tall spine, and bring the fingertips on either side. Let them graze the earth. Inhale, we'll sweep the left arm up and over, opening up the right side of the body. Feel the opening in the side ribs. Make sure to drop the right shoulder down away from the right ear, not hunching it up and over. Inhale here. And as you exhale, let the left arm pull you back up, nice tall spine. On your next inhale, walk the left hand out and over. Inhale the right arm up, reaching over, feeling the stretch on this side and noticing the difference side to side. So much of yoga is just noticing what our bodies are doing. Inhale, opening side ribs, drop that left shoulder away from the right ear, left ear. And on an exhale, come all the way up. We'll come to our backs and now for our core work to engage and get some fire going in our core and to just really engage the core and use those core muscles to extend out beyond the core, out into all parts of our body, and so that we're being able to open up and move through our poses with our breath, with stability in our core. Core work might not be our favorite activity to do in yoga, but it is essential. We're going to come down to the elbows underneath the shoulders. Press into the forearms to lift up through the heart. Knees are bent. Walk the feet back towards the hips. Inhale. Pick the feet up off the floor. And then as you exhale, press the feet out until the heels are a few inches off the floor. Be careful of the low back. Keep a gentle bend in the knees for stability in the low back. And pull the belly button in. Inhale. Bring both legs up towards the sky. And exhale. Lower the heels towards the earth. Once again, if you have any pressure in the low back, don't lower the heels so far that you feel that pressure engage, but instead feel the heels just off the floor. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, lowering the heels back down towards the earth. Inhale, coming up, pulling at the belly. Exhale, feel the belly button come towards the spine. Inhale to lift, keep the face, the jaw, and the neck as relaxed as possible as you exhale to lower. We'll do 3 more, inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Feel the belly start to engage. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower, soften the face. Last one, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, pull the feet in towards the heart. We're going to press up from our hands into a boat pose. Feel free to lower the feet at any point to give yourself some stability as we come into boat. You can keep the hands back here, or you can go ahead and bring the fingertips underneath the knees to support the body. Wherever you are, we'll walk the feet back towards the hips and then lift the feet up off the floor. And wherever you are, whether you're here or here, just remember to keep the heart lifted, the shoulders rolling back and down, so we're not collapsing in the chest, but instead lifting up. Stay here wherever you are, either here or here for several breaths, or you can go ahead and start to straighten at the knees. And maybe if you'd like, you can bring the arms out parallel to the side, or reaching up to lift the heart if you feel yourself start to collapse. 2 more breaths wherever you are. Feel the shake in the legs. Relax the face. 1 more breath. And bring the knees in towards the chest, nose towards the knees, and rock all the way back. Lying on the mat. Bring the feet to the floor, no wider than hip distance, knees are bent. And we'll take the fingers and interlace them behind our head once again. Taking the thumbs up underneath the occipital bone, the skull bone. Elbows are wide. And on an inhale, we're going to press into the feet and start to roll the hips up off the floor as if we're coming into bridge, but we're not actually going to lift the hips totally off the floor. This is just bridge pulses. Think of it as bridge pulses. So inhaling, pressing into the feet, scooping the hips as if we're going to lift the hips up off the floor, engage the belly, but don't actually lift the hips. This is tiny, tiny movements. As you exhale, let the hips come back to rest on the earth all the way fully, so that the hips and low back are resting on the earth. Inhale, press into the feet, scoop the hips as if you're about to come into bridge. And that action should make the mid-back, low to mid-back, press more heavily into the earth. As you exhale, release. Once again, tiny, tiny movements. Inhale, pressing into the feet, scooping the hips, pressing the mid back into the earth, and exhale, release. This time we're going to go ahead and do that motion. Inhale, press into the feet, scoop the hips just a little bit off the floor, mid back makes in contact with the earth. And then keeping the elbows wide, the heart lifted, the chin lifted. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders and arms up off the floor. Mid-back's really pressing into the earth. And exhale, release down. Inhale, press into the feet, scoop the hips, lift the head, shoulders, arms off the floor. Keep the chin lifted, not crunching in, and the elbows aren't coming in, but elbows stay wide, chin stays lifted, heart is open. And exhale, release everything down. Inhale, press into the feet, scoop the hips, lift the heart, shoulders, arms off the floor, keep the chin up, elbows wide. Exhale, release everything down. Do 3 more just like that, pressing into the feet, inhaling, scooping the hips, lifting the head and shoulders off the floor, and exhaling, releasing down. As you inhale, press into the feet, scoop the hips, press the mid back into the earth, lift the heart, and exhale, release it down. One more, inhale, press into the feet, pull into the belly, scoop the hips, lift the heart, and exhale, release down. Walk the feet towards each other, let the soles of the feet come together and the knees fall out. In Supta Baddha Konasana, feel free to leave the arms up, cradling the head so that the elbows mirror the legs. Bring the hands down, palm up out at the sides, or bring the palms face down to the low belly for 3 breaths here. Enjoying how the air fills our lungs, fills our belly, and then relaxing as much as possible as we exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Enjoy the energy created in the core, the connection created there. Inhale, deep breath. Feel the belly lift. And exhale. Belly sinks down. You can bring the hands to the outer thighs and close the thighs together, walking the feet once again hip distance apart. Bring one hand to each leg. Inhale, squeeze the knees in towards the chest. And exhale, lift the head, the nose up towards the knees, rock a little bit side to side. And then we'll start in a rock and roll movement, back and forth, to come up to sitting. Let the floor massage the spine all the way along the spine several times until you come up sitting on the mat. Cross over at the ankles or bring the feet out to the side. And we'll come to hands and knees in table pose. Palms directly underneath the shoulders, knees no wider than the hips. Feel that energy in the belly, in the core, pulling into the belly to protect the low back as always in our poses. Gaze down between the hands. Inhale, lift the hips up and back, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, tuck the tailbone down and underneath you. Start at the tailbone. Round the spine, press into the hands, and then drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, lifting the hips up and back first. Drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head last. And exhale, starting at the tailbone once again, tucking it down and under, round the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then drop the chin to the chest, press into the hands. Cat-cow poses. 3 more. Follow your breath, letting an inhalation open the front of the body. And an exhalation, open the back of the body. Inhale. Make sure you're pressing into the hands, lifting up out of the wrists, not putting any pressure, or as little pressure as possible on the wrist. And making sure you're not sinking down in the shoulders, but instead maintaining a lift. 1 more round. Follow your breath. Keep breathing. Weird that you have to say keep breathing, but oftentimes we forget that we're doing it. And our breaths become shallow because we're anxious or tense or just maybe worried about the day. Walk the hands 1 hand length in front of where the palms were, and then sink the hips back to the heels, rest the forehead and the forearms on the mat. Devotional pose. Feel the length of the arms along the floor. Feel the hips reach back towards the heels. Breathe in. Feel the back ribs expand as the lungs inflate. And exhale, release. Inhale, come up to hands and knees once again. Palms underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide. For a moment, lift every finger and each thumb off the mat, pressing the palms fully into the mat. And then starting with the index finger, press each finger back down onto the mat, pinky and then thumb, so that every part of the palm is reaching into the mat. Fingers are clawing into the mat. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the toes, pull into the belly, and then lift the knees up off the mat, downward dog. Take some time in downward dog. Find some movement here. Find what feels good. One of my favorite yogis says. If you haven't checked her out, she's pretty cool. And just bending one knee and then bending the other perhaps. Turning the head side to side. One more breath, finding movement. And then come to stillness in your downward dog. Feel the length of the arms on the mat. Feel the length of the spine. Shoulder blades are tucking in. Spine is long, legs are long. Don't lock the knees, but instead keep the gentle bend in the knees, pulling at the belly. Inhale. And as you exhale, lower the knees back to the mat. And then release the hips back to the heels. Once again, devotional. For just a breath, breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale to hands and knees once again, table pose. And if you feel any pressure in the wrists, if the wrists are hurting, you can always come to the top of a fist. Just make sure the thumb is on the outside and not wrapped on the inside of your fist here. We're going to engage our core once again, engage the thighs and the arms. So we'll inhale here. Exhale, tuck the toes, and we'll lift the knees just a few inches off the mat to really engage the arms. Feel the strength in the arms. Feel the strength in the core. And feel the strength in the thighs as they start to shake. 2 breaths. Inhale deeply. Exhale, let it go. One more breath. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, release the knees to the mat just for a moment. Come to your hands, the palms if you aren't already there. And exhale, press the legs back, press into the arms. Start to straighten at the knees, downward dog. On an inhale, gaze forward and start to walk the feet to the front of the mat. Once you get to the front of the mat, find length in the spine by bringing the palms to the tops of the thighs. Palms are to the tops of the thighs, pressing into the tops of the thighs, finding that long spine from the crown of the head all the way back to the hips. Inhale. And as you exhale, release all the way down. On an inhale, press into all 4 corners of the feet. Roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Feel the opening in the back. Once you have a nice tall spine, roll the shoulders up to the ears. And then exhale. Open up the palms to the front of the room. Mountain pose. Check in with your mountain pose by lifting and spreading every toe and then reaching them, placing them back down on the mat. Feel a gentle bend in the knees. Tuck the tailbone down and underneath you so it's not reaching back and out, but tucking it down. Lift the shoulders, relax them back and down. Open up the palms to the front of the room. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, both arms out and up. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips back. Coming into chair pose. And chair pose, gaze down at the knees for just a moment. You don't want the knees coming out over the toes, but instead you want to be able to see your toes over your knees. Pull in at the belly, sink the hips back, lift the heart, lift the arms, inhale. And then as you exhale, straighten at the knees, hinge at the hips, all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, find length in the spine. Bring the hands to the tops of the shins or the tops of the thighs. Nice long spine. Exhale, release down. Inhale, pick the right foot up, step it back to lunge. Exhale, pick the left foot up, step it back to plank. In plank pose, you want to find a nice long spine, always, in our practice. And from the crown of the head, actually a nice long line, crown of the head all the way to our heels. If you need to lower the knees at any point, feel free to do so. Just maintain that nice long spine from the crown of the head to the hips then, and to the knees. Make sure you're not dropping down in the shoulders, but pressing into the hands to lift up in the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Bend the elbows, lower all the way down to the earth. Slide the forearms forward, coming into cobra pose. Sphinx pose. And we'll press the forearms into the earth. Elbows are underneath the shoulders or just slightly in front of the shoulders. Once again, really make sure to press into the elbows here. Press into the forearms so you're not sinking down, but instead feeling that nice lift of the heart and some traction along the forearms as if they're trained to, the elbows and forearms are trained to pull back, the shoulders are pulling back towards the hips. Legs are long. Inhale. And then as you exhale, we'll release the forehead to the mat. Slide the elbows out, releasing the forehead all the way to the mat. Palms come underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. And you can hinge at the hips all the way up to downward dog or pull in at the belly. Come up to table pose first and then lift the knees back. 3 breaths in downward dog. Breathing in. Breathing out. Feel the stretch in the hamstrings. The length of the limbs. Pull in at the belly. Inhale, gaze forward, walk the feet to the front of the mat. Find your nice long spine, hands to the shins or the thighs. And exhale, forward fold all the way down. Once again, be careful of locking the knees. Don't lock the knees, gentle bend. And on an inhale, we'll lead with the heart, a flat back, arms out to the feet. Inhale all the way up, then reaching the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart, mountain pose. Once again, gentle bend in the knees, tailbones tucked down and underneath, hearts lifted, shoulders relaxed down. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips all the way down. Inhale, find your nice long spine, crown of the head all the way to the hips. Pull the elbows back, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, pick the left foot up, step it back to lunge. Exhale, step the right foot back to lunge, to plank pose. Press into the hands. We're here in plank for 2 more breaths. Find some movement in plank. You want to go ahead and maintain a nice solid base, but that doesn't mean you can't rock a little back and forth. Finding some movement. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. You can do it. And exhale, lower down. Leaving the palms here underneath the shoulders. We'll inhale, peel the heart up off the floor. Cobra, come as far as feels good into Cobra today. Whether you're coming into full Cobra or baby Cobra. Inhale and exhale. Release down. Tuck the toes, pull into the belly, and make your way to downward dog, either hinging at the hips or coming up to table, and then lifting the knees. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more breaths, just like that. And when we breathe out, let's go ahead and exhale through an open mouth on a sigh. Inhale. As you exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, gaze forward, walk the feet to the front of the mat. Find your long spine, and then exhale, release it down. Inhale, flat back, gentle bend in the knees, all the way up, arms out to T, press into the feet, root up, root down to rise up, and exhale, hands to heart. We'll come wide on our mats now. And this is where you will want your block or your book on, let's go ahead and put it on the right side of the mat first. We'll come into a wide-legged stance on our mats, 3 to 3.5 feet apart. Don't get crazy. Don't try and get your feet to the opposite ends of your mat. You want to have a nice solid base because we're building strength and breath and building muscles even as we stretch. So we don't want the flexibility to overpower the strengthening or the strengthening to overpower the flexibility. Find a nice balance in between because yoga is about balance. So let's take the toes slightly out, heels slightly in. And we're going to come into a horse pose. So inhale the arms out to T. And then as you exhale, bend the knees and bend the elbows. So arms are in goddess arms. Knees are bent. Adjust the feet as needed to come into your wide-legged squat here. 3 breaths to feel the strength in the thighs. Feel free to pulsate a little bit if that feels good. Inhale. Exhale. Another breath. Feel the strength in the thighs. And one last breath. Inhale, press into the feet, reach the arms up. Exhale, arms out to T, palms face down. Anchor the left heel toward the back end of the mat. Turn the right toes towards the narrow end of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms out to T. And exhale, bend the right knee in warrior 2. Press into the feet in warrior 2. Feel the arms reach out. Don't lose your balance. While you're pressing into the feet, press into the big toe of the front foot, the outer edge of the back foot. Press into the ball of the front foot. That's what I meant to say, ball of the front foot. One more breath. And on an inhale, start to straighten at that right knee. Don't bring it, don't lock it, but bring it to a gentle bend. Reach to the right edge of your mat. And as you exhale, bring your right hand to your shin, your ankle, the floor. Great place to use your block. Take the left fingertips to the upper ribs. Roll the ribs up open. And then reach the left arm up, triangle pose. Now in triangle pose, you want to work at reaching out from the core. Once again, everything reaches out in triangle pose from our center core, from our torso. So the legs are rooting down into the earth. The torso is reaching long, and then the arms reach out from the heart here. If you're working on flexibility specifically, you can work on walking that lower hand down towards the earth. If you're working on strengthening, work on releasing that lower hand entirely and just reaching out from the center. One more breath. And then exhale. We're going to fold to lunge, reaching both hands on either side of that right foot. Lift the back heel and bend the left knee, right knee. In lunge here. Breathe in and breathe out. Come up to the fingertips, lift the heart. And if you want to move your block to the opposite side now, we're going to press into our left hand and lift our right hand up, coming into a twist. Feel free to lower the back knee if needed. Inhale and exhale. Release the hand down. If you have that back knee lowered, lift it up and then step the back foot up to meet the front foot. Find length in the spine. And exhale. Release down. Let's roll up again. Press into the feet. Opening up the back body. Let the arms and head dangle. Until you can come with a nice tall spine. Sweep the arms out and up. Palms touch overhead. And exhale. Hands to heart. Beautiful. Let's come along on our mat once again. Do the other side. Balance in our flexibility and strengthening. So once again, don't go too wide in your wide-legged squat. Toes slightly out, heels slightly in. Inhale the arms out to T. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Find your wide-legged squat. Adjust as needed until you can root down through all four corners of the 3 feet. Tailbone is tucked down and underneath. You don't want the tailbone reaching out and back, but instead, tuck that tailbone down underneath, pulling in at the belly as if there is a weight attached to the coccyx and it is swinging on a line, just sort of rooting us down, while our arms reach out and our upper body lifts up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale through an open mouth. Inhale. Inhale, reach the arms up. Start to straighten at the knees. Exhale, arms up to T, palms face down. Turn the right heel back, the left toes forward. Reach to the left edge of the mat and bring your left hand to your shin, your ankle, the floor, your lovely block. Bring the right hand to the right upper ribs, roll them open, and then reach the left arm up. And then find your triangle pose, whatever that means. Root down through the edge of the back foot, root down through the ball of the front foot. But if your triangle pose means walking your hand down to the earth, if it means releasing that lower hand, finding strength, if it means staying with your block, playing with the height of your block, whatever it means, find your triangle pose. And wherever that is, reach out from every limb. Find length in the spine, reaching out from the core of our bodies. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. And then exhale, fold to lunge. Lift the back heel, bend the front knee. Take your block to the other side. Press into that hand, into the block. Feel free to lower the back knee or keep it lifted. And we'll lift the left hand up. Coming into a twist, inhale. And as you exhale, lower the left hand down. Step the back foot up to meet the front foot. Find your long spine. Inhale. And exhale, forward fold. On an inhale, roll it up, all the way up. Reach the arms out and up. Palms touch overhead. And exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath. Plug the thumbs into the sternum. Reconnect. Feel your heartbeat. On your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips all the way down. Inhale, find your long spine. Exhale, bend the knees generously, hands on either side of the feet, and step back to plank or downward dog. If you're feeling another vinyasa in your life, come down to plank. If you want to meet in downward dog, peace and joy. Inhale, exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting the heart, and exhale, we'll all meet in downward dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, lower the knees to the mat. Walk forward, cross over at the ankles, or bring the feet out to the side. And we'll come back sitting on our mats and begin cooling down from our practice. So let's start in an easy seat with the legs out in front of us, toes pulling back towards the body. For forward folds, especially seated forward folds, what we see a lot of is people trying to reach their toes, because apparently the toes are fascinating. Look, toes. And they are really trying to reach their toes, and their spine is just all kinds of crazy here. Although it might feel good all in the back for a little bit, you want to really work at forward folds from the hips. And the goal isn't to reach the toes. The goal is to bring the low belly towards the upper thighs. So if you're working on flexibility, I suggest you bend the knees, feet still pull back towards the body. But with the bent knees, we can inhale and lift the spine up, and then exhale, start to come forward, bringing that low belly to the tops of the thighs and maintaining that nice, long, tall spine. If this feels great, stay right here. If you'd like to increase the stretch a little bit, or if that's super easy for you, go ahead and slide the heels out. Inhale once again, nice long spine. Don't just start reaching for the toes once again. They're really not that interesting. Inhale, and then exhale, belly towards the tops of the thighs. Once again, feels real good. Just want to stay right here, great. You want to slide the heels all the way out and let the legs rest on the floor. But wherever you are, once again, come back to a nice tall spine on an inhale, and then hinging forward as if there's a string attached to your sternum first, pulling your heart forward first, and then hinging at the hips. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath. And on an inhale, easy, easy, come up. Bend at the knees. We'll place the feet on the floor and come into a reverse table to counteract our forward folds for today. So bring the palms down behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips. Knees are feet, I'll get it. Feet are no wider than the hips. And we'll bend the elbows, press into the hands to lift up through the heart, and then scoop the hips up off the floor, coming into a reverse table. So you want to try and make the front of your body flat, not sinking down and not really arching up, but instead finding a flatness in the body, feeling a lift, feeling the strength of the thighs, the core. Head can drop back if that feels good. You can lift the chin slightly. Just don't be staring at your knees. Look at the ceiling. Breathe in. And then exhale, release the hips to the earth. Bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out. Baddha Konasana. Once again, find your Baddha Konasana. Shift a little side to side to make sure your sit bones are really rooting down. And bring the hands to, and your feet can be pretty far out in front of you. You can bring them closer in towards the groin. Find what feels good for your body today. Bring your hands to your shins, your ankles, or around your toes. But look what happens when I bring it around my toes. I start to collapse in the spine. So once again, maintain that integrity of the spine. And we'll press our feet, our hands. I swear I will get my body parts down. I promise. Press your hands into your shins. Press them into the ankles. Press them into the feet. Inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, round the spine. Drop the chin towards the chest. Inhale, lift the heart. Nice tall spine. Pull the elbows back. Pull the shoulders back. Gaze up. And exhale, a neutral spine. And then inhale, nice tall spine. And then as you exhale, drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. You feel a nice stretch in the left side of the neck. Breathe in. Breathe out. Another breath here. Once again, we're not scrunching the shoulders up towards the ears, but instead relaxing them down. And on your next exhalation, release the chin towards the chest. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. I feel like I've got some crazy lady in the attic hair going on. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, notice the difference side to side in the neck. One more breath in. And exhale, chin towards the chest. Feel the opening in the back of the neck. Inhale, lift the head. Bring the hands to the outer legs. Bring them closed. And we'll come all the way down to our backs. It's great if you have a block here for coming down to your back. We're going to come into a supported bridge. Or if that's not what you're feeling today and you want to go full bridge on your own, peace and joy. But we'll keep our knees bent, feet on the floor. If you have a block or a book, this is the time to take it. And if you are coming into boat, just go ahead and bring the hands, palm up, down at the sides. Inhale, press into the feet. Scoop the hips up off the floor. Press the backs of the arms into the earth to lift the collarbone up towards the chin. Thighs are squeezing towards each other as if we have a tennis ball between them. Hips are scooping towards the knees. Heart and sternum are lifting towards the chin. If you want to stay here, great. If you want to take your handy dandy block or book, you can slide it underneath the hips and then let the hips come to rest on the block or on whatever prop you are using today. And then let the arms rest palm up. Bridge is great to open the heart. It's great for a strengthener of the thighs and the glutes, but sometimes it's nice just to rest. We'll take 3 breaths here and return to the integrity of your breath, the deep and long breath that we try to maintain in yoga, but we sometimes let go of in a search for the pose, for the asana, when really the breath is what leads us to our poses and leads us through our poses, the breath and our core. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's take 2 more breaths here, wherever you are. Breathe in. And if you have a block underneath, you press into the feet to scoop the hips up off it as you breathe in. And as we all breathe out, slide the block out to the side. We'll lower down vertebrae by vertebrae until the hips are the last to come resting on the mat. Walk the feet out toward the outer edges of the mat. And let the knees come towards each other, templing the knees to just really feel the connection of the low back to the earth, connecting down into the earth. It should feel nice on the low back, really just relaxing it down to the earth so that we can feel that sensation of the floor kind of evening out our spine a little bit. So 3 breaths here, nice and deep and long. Fill the belly, fill the lungs. And exhale, release. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hear the sound, the waves of your breath, the rhythm of it. One more breath. Bring the knees slightly apart. Walk the feet towards each other. The soles of the feet come together and the knees fall out in Supta Baddha Konasana. Your hands can rest palm down on your belly, palm up out at your sides, cactus arms, arms out to T. Find a good place for your hands, for your arms. I like to have them on the belly because the rise and fall of my belly, reminds me to focus in on my breath. A gentle stretch in the groin. Two more breaths here. Slowing down the breath. And preparing for our meditation. You can stay right here for your meditation. If you'd like, you can bring the knees together, walk the feet hip distance, straighten at the legs and bring the palms, hands palm up out at the sides. If you have any tension in the low back, it might be nice to put a bolster or a blanket or a pillow underneath the knees to give them a little bend and support and to give the low back a little bit of support. Take a few moments, find your pose for meditation, your Shavasana, and wherever that is. If it's not lying down, if that's no good for you, you can go ahead and sit up. I'm going to go ahead and sit up simply because I'm going to talk us through our meditations today. And if I'm lying down, sometimes I get just too darn relaxed and don't remember that I'm in charge. I'm not in charge, you guys are in charge. But don't remember that I need to take us out of our meditation and our Shavasana. So find a pose that feels good. Stay flat on the floor, put a bolster or a blanket or a pillow underneath the knees. Stay in Supta Baddha Konasana, but find what feels good for you. And when you find that pose that works for you, close your eyes. And we will return to our breath. Always, always, always in our practice. Breath before body. Breath connects the body and the heart and the mind. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Feel the belly rise, the lungs inflate, the heart lift. And as you exhale, feel the body relax. any holding or tension. And scan the body to see if you're holding any part of it stiffly. If you're lying down, are you holding any part of the body up off the mat, up off the earth? And try and with your next exhale, release that part of the body. Breathe in, deep breath in, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Feel the lungs hug the heart as they fill. And exhale, let it all go. 2 more breaths. Breathe in. Lungs hug the heart, ribs expand. And exhale, release, let go. Breathe in, belly, lungs hug the heart. And exhale, let it go. As we continue to breathe in and out, start to scan the body for any extra holding or tension. And if you find holding or tension, breathe into those areas. Guide the breath to that part of the body. And on an exhale, release. Breathe in to the forehead, the space around the eyes, the cheekbones, the mouth, and the jaw. And exhale, soften the face, relax the jaw. Breathe in to the neck, the collarbone, the shoulders. And as you exhale, feel the shoulders relax and release. Breathe into the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, and the fingers. And exhale deeply. Feel the arms, every part of the arm, releasing, relaxing into the mat. Breathe in, lift the heart. Feel the ribs expand. Breathe into the belly. And as you exhale, feel every part of the torso sink into the mat. The upper back, the mid back, the low back. Breathe in to the hips, the groin, the thighs. And as you breathe out, relax the hips, relax the thighs, release the upper legs. Breathe into the knee joints, the shins, the ankles, the feet, and the toes. And as you exhale, feel the backs of the calves relax and release. Feel the feet relax. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, the stillness and peace of the body and the stillness and peace of the mind. When the mind starts to wander and the body starts to tense, just bring the focus back to the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let the breath bring you back to this moment where there's nothing you need to do and nothing you need to be. All that is required of you is to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Stay here for as long as you like. When you're ready, return your attention to the breath and begin to awaken the body. Wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Bend one knee and place your foot on the floor if you're lying down, and then bend the other knee and place your foot on the floor. Roll all the way over to your side, curl in. When you're ready, keep an internal focus and use your arms to push yourself up to Sukhasana, easy sitting pose. On your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale the hands down the center line to the heart. Taking in the strength and flexibility and peace of mind and body and heart that our practice brings us, and taking it with us into our world. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you a good day, good yoga, nice deep breaths. Bye.